This is an AI baby podcast clip that is entirely AI generated, and it's about to change the way your business gets seen.
Life-changing doors don't open themselves. Worst case scenario, you are in the exact same position you were before, except you have a little bit more experience.
Sales is the highest paid profession in the entire world. You can make more than a doctor or a lawyer.
It can take any video content you've ever made and turn it into short form clips that attracts more leads, warms people up to who you and your business are, and keeps you in front of your audience 24/7, all without needing to invest more time into recording or hiring expensive media teams. Now imagine 1 million more people hearing about your business. This can mean more leads, more sales, and more people lining up to work with you. And this is exactly how the smartest companies are staying ahead in the AI rat race. And now you can do it too, even if you don't know the basics. I'm Tyler. I've helped generate over $10 million for businesses through AI agents, content, and paid ads. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can go ahead and set up this AI agent for yourself. I'll walk through every tool, every prompt, and I'm giving away the entire thing for free inside of my Skool community. But if you're a business owner and you want this entirely done for you, I do build custom AI agents that attract leads on autopilot, replace expensive teams, and automates up to 80% of your daily tasks so you can focus on the things that you do best. Click the second link in the description and I'll show you how I can set one up entirely done for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this. As you can see, this is my Skool community. This can be the first link in the description. This is where you're going to have all the tools, all the links, the downloads, the prompts, everything it is that you need to go ahead and make this beautiful workflow. Right down here under the resources, this is going to be the download. If you want to go ahead and skip all of this and have the done for you build, just go ahead and click import file, and then you will be able to upload this entire workflow right here. But you will still have to connect it. And that's what I'm going to be going over inside of this video, which is going to be the latter half of this, where I'm just going to show you how to plug all these. So the first tool it is that we're going to be using is n8n, which is basically just an AI agent builder. And all AI agents and n8n is basically just your business on autopilot, the simplest term ever. Now, this is exactly how you can go ahead and replace huge, expensive teams, human employees with digital ones for literally pennies on the dollar, and they never have to take coffee breaks, bathroom breaks, or anything. They're also a lot smarter in their own domain than any human really could be, because that's just how good AI is becoming. So you're probably asking yourself, what is an AI agent? And I'm going to get to that. An AI agent, it's just your digital employee. It acts like a human. It literally has the ability to think through problems. It can have context from different places all over the web. It can handle tasks 24/7, so it never has to shut the lights off and go to sleep. It doesn't have any, at-home issues. It doesn't have any of these problems that any human ever would. And it can literally talk to customers, sound more human than a human does, send messages, analyze info, create market material, create videos of you. Like, for example, I could be an AI agent right now making this video. That's how good it has become. So the next question logically goes into, what is n8n? Another beautiful question. It's basically the control center. It's the brain. It connects all of these different AI agents that you have and all these digital employees and puts them all together in one room. So now when they're all in one room, they can all talk to each other and say, hey, what is it can ask the AI agent that's in charge of your calendar, or it can ask the AI agent that's in charge of your CRM, or it can ask an AI agent that is in charge of copywriting. And now they can all talk to each other so they can communicate and basically go ahead and replace what used to require teams of hundreds of people that are all experts in their own domain to literally complete any task it is that you want. You can also plug in any business tool it is that you have, any CRM, PMS, anything. And the last thing I'll leave you off with is a live case study. And this is kind of like a workflow and one out of 100 billion examples that it can do. So not to waste too much time, let's jump back into it. So that's going to be the AI agent builder, which is n8n. Next is going to be Appify. Appify just allows you to scrape anything you want on the internet. Next is going to be Hedra. Hedra just allows you to create videos, and then a Google Sheets download, which is where we're going to store all of our information that we have. So jumping into n8n, from a high level, this is exactly what the workflow looks like. Basically, all it's going to do is, as you can see, we have step 1 and step 2. Step 1, we're going to download all of your videos, whether you have YouTube videos, you have podcasts, you have whatever it is that you have. We're going to go ahead and download all these videos so we can babyify it, turn it into that podcast clip, and then get you hundreds of millions of views towards you, your business, so you can get more sales, more leads, and more customers, all without having to spend a lot of money. So step 1, what we'll do is, this is where we're going to use Apify, and we're going to download and log all the videos onto this sheet. As you can see, we have 2 different sheets inside of here. This is the image list where we're going to create an image of you. And then this is sheet 1 where we're going to store all the data that we scrape. I'll get into this a lot later in the video. And then we have step 2 right here, which is where we're going to get these video details that we just got, and then we're going to run it through the video factory, and then we're going to store the outputs right inside of here. And it's going to be the outputs just like you saw in the beginning of this video. So let's go ahead and build this together. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag my trigger node right down here, and then I'm going to delete it because I'm going to build everything on this page in front of you. So first thing I'm going to do is add another trigger. I'm going to do trigger manually. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to refer back to my Skool community so I can have all the prompts and everything it is that I need. So step 1, this is where all the prompts are going to be. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy the node name. So anything in the header 4 is actually going to be the naming convention that we're going to use. So I'm just going to type in HTTP request. This can be the first node that we use, and I'm going to rename this to training videos. Inside of here, as you can see, I have the method, get, the URL, and then the JSON prompt. So I'm just going to download the URL. This should already be a get method, and then I'm going to put in the URL. Now inside of this URL, as you can see, it says get your API key. So the way to get your API key is you will go ahead and you'll go to Apify. In Apify, you're just going to come down to settings. You're going to go to API and integrations. You're going to create a new token, and you can describe it whatever you want, and then you'll hit create. Then you'll copy your API key. You'll bring it right back here, and then you will delete this, and then you'll paste your API key. I'm going to go ahead and delete mine at the end of this video, so therefore you guys can't steal it and run up my account. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to the prompts page, and I'm going to grab this JSON prompt. All this JSON prompt really is, it's basically just saying, hey, n8n, I want you to talk with Apify, and I'm going to tell you exactly what details it is that I want on the internet. So we can scrape that data, whether it's podcasts, whatever the case may be, and I'm going to take that data and here it is. This is what I want. So if I go ahead and open this, as you can see, if we start to read this, this says 7 days. So this is the amount of days back that you want to go ahead and scrape. And then this is the profile it is that we will go ahead and scrape. Now for this case scenario, I'm going to use Alex Ramosi. So I'm going to go ahead and copy his username. I am going to paste this right in here, which is the profiles, and I'm just going to keep this at 7 days. One other thing that is pretty important for you to know is the actor that we will be using is going to be the TikTok scraper by Clockworks. And what you can do is you can just go ahead and copy this Clockworks TikTok scraper, and then you can go ahead and paste it inside of here and it will come up. But this is the scraper it is that we will be using. So also get accustomed to the actual pricing as well. But the pricing is pennies on the dollar, not expensive. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run and execute this step. So what it's doing is it's just scraping Alex's last 7 days of videos. It's going to give us the captions, the videos, the audio URL, the video URL, the original date, etc. As that's running, the next thing I'm going to do is create a Google Sheets node. The reason I'm creating a Google Sheets node is because now we have to go ahead and log all of this data. So I'm going to do append or update row. I'm going to jump back over to here, which is down in the prompts, and I'm going to copy this and make this logged sheet. The next thing you will have to do is you will need this Google Sheet. So I'm going to go back up to download and resources, and I'm going to create a copy of the sheet just by clicking that. And then now you should have this baby podcast. And then we're going to go ahead and click from sheet 1. And then inside of here, as you can see, we're going to have all of the information that's all up here that we do need. That's auto-populated for us. We can delete the baby URL and the publishing status because that's going to be for the future of what's to come. And as you can see, this is just completed, which is awesome. So the next thing it is that I'm going to do is now we have to go ahead and finish the actual downloads and log all of this to the sheet. So the next thing I'm going to do is go back over to here. I'm going to grab an Excel or a Google Sheet formula that's going to basically name all this in chronological order. So I'm going to paste that in using IDs rows to match. And the second one I'm going to do is for the image URL, I'm going to use this sheet. And the reason I'm doing this is because these are just sheet commands that's going to make your life 1,000 times easier a little bit later down the line. And I'll show you exactly why. Just trust me on it for right now. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is log the actual caption. So for the caption, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to hit schema, and then I'm going to drag the text over here. The next thing it is that we need is the video URL. So for getting the web URL, you're just going to go right down to here, and you're going to drag this one inside of here just like this. Next is going to be the audio URL. So it'll be under music meta, and then you'll just grab the actual play URL, which is right here. And then after that, it will be the original date, and we'll grab that from all the way at the top, which is going to be right here. The last thing it is that we will do is the production status. So as you can see, it's just going to be for production right here. And I will just go ahead and type that into here. So after that, I'm just going to hit execute step. And as that is executing, you're going to be able to see it has all logged inside of here, just like magic. So now we have all your past videos. It could be podcasts, and you can look for different scrapers inside of Appify to basically scrape anything it is that you want. If you want to go ahead and you want to be able to start scraping, for example, your old podcast, YouTube videos, Instagram, Facebook, blog posts, whatever the case may be, this tool can literally do it for you, and it's extremely cheap, and it's very, very useful. So before we keep moving forward, I do want to explain one thing. This image URL, don't worry, it's going to be empty for you. But yeah, don't worry about that right now, because that is going to be at a later stage when we go ahead and create the image for you. So after we go ahead and log the sheet, we are done with downloading the videos in step 1. Congratulations. Now, moving on to step 2 is going to be getting the actual video details right here. So the first thing we have to do is I'm going to just move this click workflow. I'm going to create another Google Sheets node. And then I'm just going to hit get rows in sheet, because this time we don't want to log anything. We just want to get the information from the actual sheet itself. So again, just going to set this up and pull it from our actual document. After this, I'm going to filter this, and I want to be able to filter this and basically say, hey, I only want the videos from the production status as for production. The reason that we're doing this is because we don't want to keep creating the same videos for the ones that we've already created videos for. So for the value inside of here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have for production, and I will just type that inside of here. And then you also need to put return only first matching row, and you need to toggle this on. So basically, again, all this is saying is we're just going to return the first row that has for production inside of here. Next, I'm going to go ahead and execute this step so we can get all of that data inside of this payload. The next thing we will do is start to create the video factory, which is the fun part. Finally, we have made it to here. So I'm going to go ahead and create an HTTP request node. I'm going to jump back over to my prompts, and then this is where we're going to create the audio. Again, don't forget to go ahead and copy this and make the naming conventions all the same. Inside of here, it's going to be a post method. This is going to be the URL. So we're just going to change this method over to post. We're going to change this URL because this is basically saying like, hey, n8n, we want to take this data and then we want to be able to use Hedra to go ahead and create this video. That's all that we're doing inside of here, but this is the way to go ahead and connect to their API so they can just talk to each other. So you will have to go ahead and sign up for Hedra to be able to use to start this, but they do have free credits, so I think it is entirely free. Next thing you will do is you will create an authentication. We'll hit generic credential type. It'll be a header off, and then we will click this and click create a new header. And then inside of here for the actual values, you'll go into your Hedra account that you've just created. You will click this, and then you will go to API. This is going to be your API key. You'll just copy this, and then you'll go ahead and paste the value right inside of here. Now for this name, you have to do this name entirely. Like a case sensitive does matter. So this is exactly what you will type, and cases do matter. I always do like to go ahead and rename this to whatever tool it is that we are using, and then you'll just go ahead and hit save. And the reason we do this is because this is how we can store our API key. So therefore in the future, we can just always go ahead, refer back to it, and then make it super easy just like this. So we don't have to keep creating new header alts all the time. After this, we'll hit send body. We're going to switch this to using JSON below. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this file. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because the way that their API is set up is we have to create files and we have to create all these different things inside of here, but that's no problem. So I'm just going to go ahead and create this and hit execute step. So now, as you can see, we got this ID in the payload. So this ID basically just created a field inside of Hedra so we can start to create the actual audio and send the audio files it is that we have just scraped over to create the videos. The next thing it is that we will do is we're going to have another HTTP request, and then this is going to be getting the audio itself. So I'm going to copy this name, I'm going to paste this, I'm going to jump back. This one's going to be a get method, and as you can see, I'm just going to copy this URL, and then I'm going to paste this inside of here. Now, the reason it's red, the reason I did this is because I want to show you how important the naming conventions are. So as you can see, this is get video, so I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to bring this down here. I'm going to rename this to get video, but mine automatically goes to a 1 because I have a 1 right here. So let me just rename this one to 2. And then if this is saved as get video now, as you can see, this will be green, just like this. And all this is doing is pulling over the expression over into here. So now it has that custom value right here. So that's why the naming conventions, guys, I really do stress on that because it does matter a lot if you do want to go ahead and do this. So after that, I'll just go ahead and hit execute step. And as you can see, we now have a file that has been downloaded inside of here. This is going to be a binary file, and this is how n8n stores data. So the next thing we're going to do is create another HTTP request. We're going to jump on down to upload file. I'm going to rename this to upload file. Mine's automatically going to go to a 1, like I previously said. This is going to be a post method, just like that. And I'll change this to post. I just pasted this URL. As you can see, this is the JSON ID from the previous node right here, which is that ID file that it has created for us. Authentication, we'll go down to the new authentication that you created. Will be the Hedra file, and then we'll click send body. Now, inside of here, I'm going to change some of this. I'm actually going to change this to n8n binary file. For this import data field name, I'm actually gonna change this content type from JSON to form data. We're gonna leave this. We're gonna change this to n8n binary data as the primary, as you can see right here. Then we're gonna name this as file and data. So file will be for the name, data will be for the import data field name, and then what we will do is we'll go ahead and hit execute step. So now you can see all of this has worked, and we basically just got the data and we uploaded this over to our Hedra account. So the first thing we did is we created a way to go ahead and save the audio, like an audio instance, the container, and then now we put in our audio file, our first audio file from this inside of there. So now the audio section is good, and the next thing we'll have to do is create the video section. To make your life 1,000 times easier, you'll just copy this and then you'll just paste it down below, and then you'll connect the nodes just like this. And what we're going to do is create the actual image itself. So after we go ahead and do this, and then we change the name, after changing the name for create image, the next thing we have to do is actually create an image just like we have inside of here. So this is going to be an image of you, and it's going to be the baby version of you. So either at this point, you can find an image of yourself and upload it, and then babyify it into ChatGPT is what we're going to use. Or if you're doing this for somebody else or for another account, you can just go ahead and look up a photo of them on the internet and then just be able to download and use that photo as a reference. So I will go ahead, I'll just drag this. Next thing I'm going to do is upload this photo into ChatGPT. I'm going to come back over to the prompts, and then this is going to be the baby image prompt. I'll just paste this inside of here, and then I will let this go ahead and work its magic and make me a baby image. And I'll be right back when this is completed. Okay, guys, so you can see the video has been created. It even has this logo on it. I think this is amazing. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to download this file. And then there's going to be this tool that you will use. Now, for this tool, this is going to be the image hosting. So all we're doing is we're making like a public link so we can pull this back into and then be able to feed this into Hedra. Now, to go ahead and get to this link, it's going to be the image hosting. This is free. You don't have to pay for any of this, so don't pay. Just hit skip or whatever. inside of. So the next thing I will do is I will go ahead and drag and drop this inside of here. I'll leave this as don't auto delete. I'll hit upload, and then make sure you have direct links inside of here. This is very important. You'll go ahead, you'll copy this link, and then what we'll do is we'll jump back onto sheet 2, which is what you have been waiting for. Inside sheet 2, the reason that we have the image list here is if you want multiple different images of yourself, of your clients, whatever the case may be, what we can do is we can have it randomize using an Excel format right inside of here. So therefore, it'll just randomly choose whichever baby it is that you want, and you can go ahead and keep creating different photos of yourself, so therefore you don't have the same baby podcast every time. Now for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and post this inside of here, and what you will notice is now your image URL will all entirely be populated. So if I go ahead and open this, you'll see this is the exact image it is that we created. So the next thing we will do is we'll jump back into here into the create image. And I'm going to go back down to prompts, and I'm going to use the JSON prompt inside of here. As you can see, it's a post. It's going to have this URL. The URL is going to be the exact same, but for the actual JSON, this is where it's going to switch, and I'm going to make sure that's valid JSON. Then I'm going to hit execute step. Now it created an ID for the image file instead of the audio file like last time. So next we'll be getting the image. I actually meant getting the actual video itself, so we'll go ahead, we'll rename this. It's going to be a get, which is good. And then I will go ahead and I will copy this URL. Now we'll paste it right here because this is going to be the actual image URL. So now after this, we can go ahead and hit execute step, and what it basically just did is it went and it pulled the actual image URL from this sheet. After this, we have to download the file, the actual image itself, and then bring it over to here. So I'm going to rename that. It's a post method. This is going to be the URL, which should be the same. And then again, the form data, n8n binary field, file data. We don't have to change anything. I am making your life so easy, guys. And there we go. An amazing output just like that. So the last thing it is that we will do is I'll just copy and paste this node because we're going to go ahead and create this video. And this is going to be the best video you guys have ever seen. So let's go ahead and hit create video. I'm going to rename this to create video. Now we will have to change this URL. And again, this is a post method. So I'm changing this. It's going to be generations. Don't ask me why. But for simple terms, for those of you that are wondering, this is just how they set up their API, which is kind of a pain in the ass. And then the next thing I will do is I will go ahead and copy this JSON prompt. And then this is the JSON prompt it is that I'm going to use. Now I'll turn this into an expression, so therefore we can make sure that we're getting the correct things. And as you can see, so mine's going to be red, but yours isn't going to be red because you remembered to follow the instructions of renaming your nodes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down and show you how to go ahead and drag these in to make your life 1,000 times easier in the future. So I'm going to find the create image. And then as you can see, it's item JSON image. So all I'm really doing is just dragging and dropping and replacing this. And then I'm going to delete this. So therefore we have a green expression. The only reason I have to do this is because my naming convention is different. After this, I'm going to go ahead and find the audio ID. And then I'm going to paste this inside of here just like this. Okay, cool. So now we have all of this set up, and this is the JSON code. So the next thing we're doing is now we're going to go ahead and create the video. So this basically just took it took our image, it took our audio file, and now it's basically plugging it in over to Hedra to go ahead and create these videos. And as you'll be able to see, is this video should be processing at this point. So now that we went ahead and made the request to go ahead and create this video, in the back end in Hedra, it's actually creating this video. Next thing I will do is put in a wait tool. And I typically put in 10 seconds, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to have it at 1 second. And then after this, we need another HTTP request, which is going to go ahead and pull the final video back for us, which is just going to be the download video right here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to rename this to download video. It's going to be a get method. And this is going to be the URL. And don't worry if it's gray as of right now, it's because we didn't run the node that's in front of it. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this node just so you guys can see. And then if we run this one, as you can see, it is now green. Now, the reason that this didn't go is because we have to put in our header off, just like this. And again, this is like an API key. It's basically just like a passcode, so it allows two softwares to talk to each other. Now, the reason I put in the wait is because it's going to take a little bit for this video to actually be finalized. And I want to create this looping process because, as you can see, it says process right here. So it continues to loop. So therefore, you don't have to constantly be on top of it. And it'll just figure out when this video is entirely done. So inside of here, what I do is I create an if node. Now, what you can do is you can just do this. It'll be an if, just like this, so you can see it. I'm going to delete it for sake of time. And then what you'll do is we will go ahead and connect this, and then we're going to run the if node. And as you can see, we're going to have the conditions of JSON status. So if we go to download video and then we have status, you can drag it in just like this, and it has to equal complete. And this case sensitive and everything, it matters because this will make it go down the true branch or the false branch. It's basically saying like, hey, when is this video completed? Right now it's processing, so it's still going down the false branch. So what we'll do is for the false branch, we will run it back to here. So therefore, it'll just continue to go ahead and wait and continue to keep retrying. So as you can see, it did it again, but now it's true because the file did come out this time and we have all the URLs. So the last thing we're going to go ahead and do is go to the finished output. And we are going to log our new baby file that I will show you in just a second to our Google Sheet. So we're going to have a Google Sheet node. We're going to do append or update row. And then I'm going to jump back over to the prompts. I'm going to rename this. So inside of here, so we'll have to just reconnect our files. Again, it's going to be sheet 1. And then we're going to rematch our fields. So what I'll do is I will delete a lot of the things that we don't need. We don't need the caption, the video URL, the image URL, the audio URL, the original date. So for the ID, what I'm going to use is this JSON ID. Now, the way you can go ahead and get this is you'll just jump all the way back down to here. You'll go to get video and it'll be this ID number and you can paste it in just like that. So all this is doing is basically saying like, hey, I want to be able to make sure I log this at the correct spot. And as you can see, this is ID 5, so it's going to log this at the correct spot. For production status, this is where you'll type in completed. And then for the baby URL, this is where we will go ahead and just put in the JSON URL. So again, we have to hit expression right here. But if we jump back over to this, we will see this is the URL that we have. That's going to go ahead and show us our final output. So I'll hit execute step. We'll jump into here. As you can see, it's completed. And then this changed to completed as well. So let's go ahead and download this file and let me show you what this file is. All right, guys. And as you can see, everything has been completed inside of this Google Sheet. So the next thing I will do is I will just copy this and I will paste this and it's going to go ahead and start a download for us. And this is the final result.
We have a company right now that I've invested in that only has one employee, the founder. It was 2020 when I invested in the company. Brilliant guy. And he was just like, I only have one role and you probably won't like it. And he's like, I will never hire anyone. That's my only role.
Okay, so as you can see, he's sitting here flexing everything, but that is just because that's the image that we created inside of here. What you can do is you can play with this prompt, so therefore he has his arms down, so it's a little bit more natural, which is totally fine. But yeah, so that's the entire video. Now, a couple quick tips before I do let you jump. So there you have it. This is the entire workflow build from start to finish. It's basically just a way you can go ahead and start to get millions of views on the internet towards your, and it doesn't really even matter if you have a local business, you sell an online product or info, you have an agency, whatever the case may be. This is just a great way to get a lot more views. And there's so many different ways you can change this. You can actually make this, instead of like a baby avatar, you can make this like a real live human. So it would be exactly like you. And you can make pure mock-ups of just yourself. And I'm going to go ahead and make a video that goes over exactly how to go ahead and do this. And again, if you want to be able to have something that's customly built just like this for you, just go ahead, click that second link in the description. We'll jump on a one-on-one call and then we'll be able to figure out what sort of AI agent makes the most sense for you. But aside from that, guys, thanks for sticking around and tuning in, and I will see you on the next one.